Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Middle-Aged Mutant Show Live. We are broadcasting to you telepathically from deep beneath the streets of New York City in the lair of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As with all telepathy, emotional transference is unavoidable. So if at any time you feel confused, it's because we walked past a group of guys wearing yarmulkes to get in here. So I don't know if you guys knew what was going on there, but I'm confused.
I don't know. It sounds like that's something from like a John Wick movie. So.
My name is Ty, and I'll be your host for this evening. As always, I'm joined by the Brotherhood of mostly benevolent mutants, Bodz and OH. Gentlemen, you have the floor.
So we're taking over now.
We're taking over the show.
You know,
yeah,
we don't.
Good.
I always thought Ty was holding us back. So yeah. We'll take it from here.
It all comes out now, huh? It all comes out.
We're going to talk about. I don't have an agenda. That's usually what Ty's for.
Oh, now you come crawling back.
Yeah. So first, I'd like to welcome everyone to my underground tunnel layer that I've been digging out for a little bit now. Mm-hmm. So having some fun with that.
It's nice and spacious, I'd say. I mean,
yeah.
As tunnels go, this is pretty. I mean, I'm not that claustrophobic in here like I normally am.
Don't mind the if you can just ignore the soiled mattresses, that'd be great. But
and the what is it, the manacle, or is it called manacle? What are the little chains with the handcuffs on them?
Manacles.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, if you can just
manacles are a nice touch.
Yeah, if you can avoid all that super suspicious, sketchy looking stuff, that'd be great. And we can just focus on what's important.
My eyes are up here. Well, anyways, let's get into the first topic. And the first topic at hand is, this is a new segment we're going to be introducing, or I'm introducing. You guys can sit back and relax. You probably just don't let your eyes roll back into your head.
No.
Don't let your eyes roll back into your head for a moment. Or fall asleep on me, because I'm going to be talking about news from the PC Master Race.
Oh, here we go.
I even have
already fallen asleep. Oh, great.
I even have a snazzy new graphic. Not graphic, it's just a video for this. So here we go.
Peasants, I bring news. Join me in PC gaming and ascend to godhood.
That's brought to us via the Flash Skits. If you ever want to see some funny shit about gaming, go ahead and go check out the Flash Skits. They're awesome. Let's get on to the first topic here. Well, I don't need to bring up a graphic for this just yet. So for better or for worse, Nvidia dropped its new 40 series super cards. So let's go ahead and talk about that. They dropped the 4070, the 4070 Ti, and the 4080 Super. And I think Nintendo from the 90s called. They want their marketing back. I don't understand why they're going with this super thing. That we're kind of in that bell curve of the graphics card generation, where I like to call it either shit or get off the pot, or wait for the next generation. And this is the kind of the time where if you're going to buy your graphics card, you better either do it or just, wait till the next 50 generation comes out. But nobody really cares about the graphics cards right now because they're so far into that generation. So let's just talk about what really matters, and that is the actual games and stuff that are coming out. This is the first one, Horizon Zero Dawn. It's finally getting a sequel PC port, Horizon Forbidden West, the complete edition. It's going to come with DLSS 3, DLAA, bunch of other acronyms. So you'll get as many made up frames per second as you want in this game, and all you guys with 40 series cards can rejoice, but don't break your arms jerking yourselves off, because if we have to play another open world game with a girl who has a bow and arrow, I'm going to throw up. And the next game on the docket is Diablo 4. It's getting a kind of like just a compatibility update for ray tracing. So finally, we'll be able to see the crotches of our characters in the mini reflective surfaces on the ground. So I guess, yay? I don't know.
I mean, I'm all for crotches.
I know. I mean, slightly better shadows here and crotches. I don't know if this is that big of an upgrade, but it's on its way, so it is what it is. And finally, the one that I actually care about is we're getting a Half-Life 2 RTX remix for the game, which means they're still not making Half-Life 3. So this is as good as we're ever going to get, people. And much like not getting a Half-Life 3, Valve has nothing to do with this. I believe this is a community effort, and they're going to be actually porting this into the game. So I guess thank you. I don't know what to say. But anyways, that's it for PC Master Race news. I hope this is not going to become a regular segment because, to be honest, this shit doesn't happen that often. So see you next time. All right, now back to the regular show, guys.
There was so much of that nerd stuff I didn't understand. Can we just get back to comic books?
Oh no, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, here we go.
That makes me feel less nerdy not knowing what it is.
I don't know why. What music is playing? Hold on one second.
We have a
You hear that
live
music?
band. We have a live band.
Hold on, I
that we
gotta
didn't know
figure out where
about.
this music's coming from.
I don't hear any music crazy.
Oh, hold on one second. There we go. I was trying to figure out. I was like, okay, something has gone completely wrong here. Technical snafu. It just had to happen today, didn't it? Okay, we're on the next topic, so let's share
We're
that.
live
Okay.
and middle-aged. That's what I
Yeah,
can
live. Okay. All right, guys.
Where's
so
that music coming from?
I know,
It's
where is
too
that
loud.
music? So weird, so weird. Okay, so it turns out the Suicide Squad got released, at least a portion of it. I don't know if it's the entire game or it's just like a demo for the games media, but even who normally IGN is the 10 out of 10 king. They give 10 out of 10s anything that comes out, but this time around they said they didn't like it. They said it's a repetitive shooter and they don't really like killing their heroes that they know and love. And they said that it just gets old really fast. And the only thing that's even remotely good about the game is the story. And they're also kind of worried that this game has a bit of a live. It has a really big live service element. So it means that if it doesn't do well, this game could actually get its servers shut off and, you know, everybody will be SOL, much like I think Anthem. And then what was the other one? I'm trying to think of the most recent memory games where they just said, oh, well, fuck it. We're not doing this anymore. So
what was it? They just dropped the Witcher stuff into it. Destiny. Isn't that something?
Oh, no, Destiny's still going like strong.
Okay.
I don't think that game's. I think that thing has a pretty loyal like consumer base right there.
Yeah.
But I think that's as big as that game is ever going to get because I don't know if did you even wade into that, Bodz? For
I
Witcher
didn't
stuff?
because I thought maybe it was going away at some point.
It's just repetitive and kind of it's just it's a looter shooter. It's repetitive and boring. And that's kind of the fear I had for this game. Really, was that it was just going to be a looter shooter that either it's extremely popular and then it goes on for years and years, or it's a looter shooter that peters out after a certain point and then they cut the servers and then you can't play the game because it's either always online. Hopefully Rocksteady has a bit more of a pedigree and says, you know what, we're just gonna give it a single player game that doesn't have an online component, and then you won't have to have an internet connection to play the game and you can just play the story. So
from the story, like me and my son are big Arkhamverse fans, and so this is supposed to be a continuation of this or not.
As far as I know, this is part of the Arkhamverse. I mean, it is canon.
We don't understand how Floyd is black now. We don't really get that because he was white in the other ones, like when he was in Arkham City. Floyd Lawton. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was black in that one. Oh, did you saw his face? I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, no, he was white, and even in the Arkham cartoon tie-in, he was white. And he's voiced by I can't remember now who voiced him, but
here's how I know that
maybe it was like a weird thing where he I killed him and took his identity or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
We're just trying to figure out if this actually is the Arkhamverse.
All I know is that. Okay, so I have from the Fandom Pulse. They actually, this was pretty funny. They actually have a scene right here where I guess in the I haven't finished Arkham Knight just because I just haven't finished it. I guess Poison Ivy, she sacrifices herself.
Yeah.
Well, in this game, she shows up, and here's a clip. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, I'm not sharing the right tab here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is what they were talking about. Maybe if I can I full screen?
There's my girl.
Is this the?
You, but my pheromones remember you.
Is it like a baby Groot situation?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Wasn't expecting you to come in fun size. You really don't know me? Harley and Ivy forever? In 10-story burning letters?
Yeah. This is super awkward if it's if they're in a
Harley and Ivy
relationship.
forever? In 10-story burning letters?
Go ahead and take a seat.
But I'm not going to do this.
Take a seat right over there. What are you doing here?
There's my...
Yeah.
Love the Chris Hansen bit. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's immediately what was going in my head. So I'm glad that someone else pointed that out.
So I wonder if this is anything. I've seen like little bits of this in my social media timelines, and I'll from like a non-gamer person, all like from my perspective, all I'm seeing is like this weird, not quite poison ivy thing is just appearing, and I kind of doubt it's Ferrak from the old Batman comics, who is super obscure. This like offshoot thing that kind of like was birthed from poison ivy, sort of. And I think they called her Ferrak because it's like an anagram of freak, I think. And so I'm like, I kind of doubt anyone but me remembers Ferrak. So that's
No, I mean, I'm not the biggest DC guy right now, so I don't know. I don't know.
Well, this was back in like No Man's Land time. You know, this is back in the time.
You did a big thorough reading through No Man's Land. So
yeah, I'm
you
actually
probably are.
So that's why I have this like, that's what comes to mind, and so I'm stuck in the 90s when it comes to Batman comics and the early 2000s. It's a good place to be.
It is.
Well, some of the early 2000s.
Yeah, you're right. So,
I did have some like I didn't get to read all of Ed Brubaker's run, just the very beginning. I was like, oh fuck me, this was really boring, and it had too many events pop in the middle of it for me to like go, oh, can we not do this?
That's sort of a comic book problem in general, but as far as like what the I'm like, and so speaking of like someone who's like a little more familiar with the comic books, and there's also like animation lore, movie lore, and then there's like video game lore, its own offshoot, completely its own thing. And I see this, and I'm like, I don't know what is happening. I'm familiar with a lot of different versions, but this is just beyond me. So, yeah, I'm not sure what it is, you know.
Well, it's Rocksteady being Rocksteady. I mean, they're going to have their own version of whatever.
You've got 3 actual games, and I guess if you consider like Origins and was it the Blackgate game, you know, you've got all kinds of lore to pull from there. So it would be very confusing just, you know, jumping in.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're someone like me, you're like, what in the world is happening?
Yeah.
So.
Well, the whole time what I've been wondering is you're going to have a game that is in anytime they have a shooter game inside kind of the Batman universe, I'm always like, well, what? It's kind of not the point.
Yeah. Batman wouldn't want this.
A shooter. Yeah.
And I just, especially if it's a looter shooter that's got a really big, what do they call it? The games as a service component. I always, every time I hear games as a service, I get fucking heartburn because it's one of those things that'll kill a game. They even said right here, Marvel's Avengers, that was a live service game, and it just absolutely killed that game. Didn't help that game wasn't that great, or wasn't that received that well at launch. So I kind of have a little bit of Marvel Avengers feeling, unless the difference is we were talking about a different developer at the time. I think it was the guys who made the old Tomb Raider games. I can't remember the name of them. Versus Rocksteady. And Rocksteady
was it Polygon?
No, Polygon's a website. What the heck is the name of that dang company that makes it? Anyways, so it was when they did the whole Lara Croft Tomb Raider reboot where she's like they basically cover her up and they make it like, kind of like almost like a survival game.
And she just shoots a bow and arrow, and you're like,
yeah,
oh,
she
another
just shoots a
girl
bow
with
and arrow. Another girl with a bow and arrow. Exactly. That was the year of the bow and arrow girl.
Yeah.
But what the heck? And then I gotta look this up. But anyways, they I can tell you right now what it is. That company versus Rocksteady. I don't know. Rocksteady has had a pretty good track record of making games that are fun, but they did make shooters before they made Batman. So this could be them kind of wanting to return to their roots. And I don't know if I'd go that. That's a
I don't know.
Advise.
The gameplay I saw, like this is a while back, so I'm pretty sure they've changed things, but it looked like just out there. You had jetpacks and you were shooting guns and flying around.
Yeah,
this one does not feel like.
Yeah, this one.
Games.
What does it have? It has Harley Quinn has kind of a Batman like grapple.
Mm-hmm.
The boomerang is it Captain Boomerang in that? Because Boomerang, I think in Marvel it's just Boomerang.
Yeah, I think they just have a boomerang.
Yeah, just Boomerang. Yeah, but Captain Boomerang has a boomerang that he can like throw, and I guess he teleports to it, or it makes him run fast, or something like that. Of course. And Deadshot has a backpack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, a jetpack, and King is it King Shark? He can jump. He has super ability, so he can jump on his own. So they all have some kind of traversal mechanic. But in the articles I was reading, some people were saying like, man, it's kind of hard to keep up with like some of the stuff. Like they said that they would be playing as here he goes. It's from the GameSpot article. It says about the Justice League showdown in the gameplay department, stating getting around and the combat during the preview never felt as effortless or as flowing as I'd hoped it would. There was a time when I got the hang of Harley swinging deftly from location and wailing on enemies, and the longer the event went on, the better the combat felt. But there was a few clunky elements. I felt like I kept swinging into walls or losing track of the grapple points. So it's probably just not as polished as the Arkham games, because you gotta remember, I don't really remember having that hard of a time in the first Arkham Asylum game with any of the grapple stuff. I thought that was very smooth, as well as the cape gliding. I thought that was very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
But as they went on, it got even better because they had just years of like, they were like, okay, we know how this gameplay element works. We were just refining and making it better and better and better and better. So this is the first time they have to do this for 4 different characters now, and I think that's probably where the issue comes in. It's like you're trying to polish 4 different mechanics here, and they're all slightly different from one another.
Are they all playing at once? Are they on screen
yes,
at the same time?
It's a 4-player game. Well, from what I understand, you can play this game as one of the characters, and you can jump in between them. Like if you're single playing. You're playing it single player, you can go from Harley to King Shark to whoever, just on the fly. And then if you're playing like a cooperative, you can pick your character, and I think you can play up to 4 different characters at once. So
I can't remember if I heard this or if this is just something I imagined, but did they say they were going to add other characters later, like DLC?
I didn't. I never heard that. The only thing that I have heard thus far is that they were planning on doing a lot of cosmetics, and that's probably where the live service stuff comes in play heavily. Is that they will monetize the shit out of that, like they do in every other game that is a live service. Well, for example, your favorite game, Bodz Fortnite, that shit is monetized to the hilt.
Yeah,
and I'm
if
guessing
they didn't monetize it, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, you wouldn't care. So,
if I can't be in there and play as John Wick and Ninja Turtles and Witcher, I don't think I'd care very much.
Yeah, no, that game would be what.
It's so weird. Like anything I've ever liked, and this is like middle-aged, like focused. It's all like, I wish Snake Eyes was in here. Oh, there's Snake Eyes. I wish Nathan Drake was here. Well, there he is. It's like, there's Indiana
Well, it's funny
Jones.
because I used to always always tell Bodz, hey, you need to join the PC Master Race, bro, because we can do whatever the hell we want over here. It's just one big
mod 'em.
party.
Yeah.
We just mod these characters in the game. I remember playing Left 4 Dead as Deadpool and
What was
all
the
these
one
other
that was really good mod you sent me? And it was Snake Plissken. What was that?
that was the Phantom Pain Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid.
Oh,
Phantom
that's
Pain.
right. That's right. Yeah.
They
that
just
fitting.
swapped.
Super fitting.
Yeah, they just swapped him out, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to get Bodz for years to do that, and he's not going to do it. That was like, I was barking up the wrong tree.
It's too much for me. I mean,
it's
as
just
much
too
as I would
much.
like to do that, it's just too much.
Yeah, you'd have to keep up with your software. You'd have to keep up with your drivers.
Too
much for me.
Yeah, but now not now. A few years ago, not even more. How long have you been playing Fortnite, Bodz?
During well, this is I don't know if this counts as a dad Bodz moment, but
oh wait, here I got it.
Greetings, super dumbasses.
So during COVID, like I was totally against all that. Like I was like, no, I'm not playing Fortnite with you. I'm not playing Minecraft with you. And during COVID, like, I mean, we were just stuck here, in the house, not doing anything. And I remember he was playing on my account Fortnite prior to all this and stuff, and Batman came on there. And being a big fan of Batman, I'm like, okay, I will buy that for you. And I bought it. He had Batman on his account and stuff. And then like that came out, and during COVID, and they talked me into it, and it just happened to have Deadpool in it at that point. And I was like, okay, I care about
it's
Deadpool.
over.
Yeah,
It's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
He uses guns. This is fitting. So I was like, I'm taking my account back from you. And he wasn't upset about that because he's like, he just started a new account.
He's like, Dad, he's finally playing with me.
Yeah. And then I was a good father again. No, we just started playing that, and like the next season was like an all Marvel season, and I got Wolverine, and then like John Wick was in it, and I remember my son saying John Wick was in it, but they have a character called the Reaper in there, and I thought that's what he's talking about. No, it's straight up legit John Wick. So
oh, nice.
Like literally everything I've said as we've been playing this with him has been popped in there, and like one of the things I've like wish list in my head, I was like, I wish Casey Jones would be in there, and they just put the Ninja Turtles in there recently, so. We will see. Time will tell if they'll have Casey Jones pop up in there soon. So
what I've gathered is the game that is presented, or at least maybe possibly even advertised as the child game, it is not the child game. That is very much the middle-aged person game.
Yeah,
because every Gen X hero is in there.
Everyone. And what's funny is like one of my other characters I wished for was Snake Plissken. Well, this season has Solid Snake, so I'm like, that's pretty close.
Oh, no, yeah, that's pretty close.
So,
that's pretty close.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. They just keep taking my money. I was like, yep, I have to get that. So
shut up and take my money.
Take my money. Right. But yeah, it's definitely a fun father, son, and now daughter playing. Together,
the whole family can murder
the whole
people
family except
together.
for Brooke, who gets motion sickness, can't play.
Yeah,
that would be me.
Yeah, that'd be no itch.
Well, Bodz, I guess if this comes out and all these guys are wrong, then maybe I still envision myself playing this just to because I gotta try it out myself. So
yeah, we had more just hope of playing this one than we did the Gotham Knights game.
Gotham Knights. Well,
we knew that wasn't going to be up our alley, unfortunately.
Well, Gotham Knights it got from the get go. It was like, oh
yeah,
oof, kind of like holy crap.
And that not being tied to like they try to make it look like it is, but like not being part of the Arkhamverse, I'm like
really hurt it.
Yeah.
Well, bummer. Well, anyways. Let's mosey on to the next topic. Where's my little dad? There it is. Okay. So this is just a graphic. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to give you a review of my favorite superhero, Spider-Man. Got his ultimate Spider-Man debut. Okay. And again, yeah, this is technically, if you look it up anywhere, they consider this to be volume 2. So,
compared to the other Ultimate Spider-Man from the early 2000s.
Yes, they consider this to be volume 2 because it's that's a weird thing they're doing now.
Yeah.
If you ever go to shop for comics, like, because you know how they reboot after reboot after reboot, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, keeping
So
up the
Fly-
volumes is just like maddening, you know. It's
Yeah,
just like
so-
just tell me the year it came out.
Yeah.
You know?
But
Yeah,
now
it's
they're just flat out going, oh well, this is volume 1. Like Conan right now it's on volume 5 because all the
Yeah.
reboots and all the times has changed hands. So that's
exactly
the only
what
way
I
you
was
can
thinking
find
of. When I was looking at the new Conan stuff, I saw it was volume 5. I was like, well, wow. But I guess that's pretty accurate because what did it change hands from Marvel to like?
Oh man.
Well, right
all
now
those
it's with
different
Hero
places.
Signature and Titan
Yeah.
Books. I think it went from Dark Horse to Marvel to Titan Books.
It's kind of like
And-
the like Star Trek comics, or sometimes Marvel, sometimes DC. Kind of depends on what
Yeah.
era,
Yeah, I
or
think right now that
or
right now
whatever
the
third
Dark Horse,
party,
right?
or Dynamite maybe. At one
Dynamite,
time?
maybe. Yeah, you're right. That is
Yeah.
right. Oh, usually if you're talking licensed comics, yeah, that's right. It's probably Dynamite. But anyways, back to Ultimate Spider-Man here. So we're talking volume 2. Now, I'm just going to read you the first part of this. It kind of catches you up, and I thought this was a pretty succinct way to talk about it. So this is just like the opening page. It says, 20 years ago, the Maker prevented a radioactive spider from biting young Peter Parker. He likewise prevented the creation of any other superheroes formed and formed a secret council to rule the world from the shadows. When Tony Stark learned the dark history of his universe, he sought to undo it, prompting the Maker's Council to attack Manhattan, killing thousands and framed Stark for it. Peter Parker has lived his life unaware of the Maker's Council or the truth behind the spider, but that is all about to change. And that's pretty good that's going to be my first point. If you haven't read Ultimate Invasion or Ultimate Universe yet, you could probably jump into this with just that little bit of information because it tells you pretty much everything you need to know and who the major players are involved here, because it's the Maker, it's Tony Stark, and Peter Parker and what happened to him and why he's not Spider-Man at this moment. Now, in this is just to start off, okay, this is not 1610, this is Earth 6160. So this is not the old Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
So this ain't your father's Marvel universe.
This ain't your father's early 2000s Ultimate Universe. Okay. And so the book, it too long didn't read. The book I loved. It was great. I thought it was a nice way to start this off. It's a very good introduction to the character. You don't see a whole lot of superheroics in it. You don't see a lot of villain stuff in it either, but it gives you a good primer for what's to come, and it just gets to the point. By the last page, you're like, okay, I got it. But in this universe, Peter Parker never became Spider-Man because the Maker basically snatched the bug that was going to bite Spider out of the air, and then he stomped on it, and Peter never was bitten. So he's lived his life. And he went on to marry Mary Jane. He had 2 kids, Richard and May, and they lived a pretty good life. Peter's still works for the Daily Bugle. In fact, he shows up to the Daily Bugle in this book, and we get our first glimpse of J. Jonah Jameson, and he's screaming about Parker again. It's like this subversion, though, because he's not screaming for Peter. He's screaming for Uncle Ben Parker because he is the managing editor for the Daily Bugle. He works underneath J. Jonah Jameson. So in this reality, there was never a need for Spider-Man. So Uncle Ben never went out looking for Peter, never got shot. So pretty cool little change there. Right in the beginning sets a whole different tone for the book. The book also kind of plays heavily in the beginning. And like I kind of got a little bit upset when I was reading it the first time. And I thought, damn it, they're not going to let Peter be happy with Mary Jane. And I kind of got this feeling like he was like upset with her or upset with being married or something like that. And I was like, that fucking irritates the shit out of me, because it's just like, that's like the one thing that every fan asks for is, hey, stop messing with their relationship and just let it happen, kind of thing.
Peter must suffer.
Peter must suffer, yes, for no good reason. But in the middle of the book, you find out there is a there's a meeting that's going to happen with the Daily Bugle and their money people, and then you hear that there's also this other event that Peter and Ben also have to go to, and it's kind of like, oh, we have to go to it. We got to show up. And before they leave, before they actually go to this event, there's this moment where Peter is asking J. Jonah Jameson's like, how is Uncle Ben doing? He's like, how about you just ask him? Me and him don't really talk about our feelings. I mean, how about you just be a man and ask him what's wrong? And then they have this like really like the dynamic between Peter and J. Jonah Jameson is so different now. It's almost touching. There's this point where Peter's about to leave for this event that Ben and him have to go to, and Jonah grabs him and says, "Oh, wait a second, man, you look like crap." He's like, "Here, take my tie. You need a tie for something like this." And he even puts it on me and ties him for that. And this is like he's like an uncle in this. And I was like, you know what? I like this. I really that kind of that lack of tension, because you got to remember Spider-Man didn't exist, so Jonah hasn't had that like I'm pissed off and try have it in for Spider-Man. He's a menace. He's just more like he's friends with Ben Parker, so he loves Peter. It's kind of those things. One of those things. It's kind of a cool, different dynamic that I really like.
Feels like a what if. That's just
it does. It really feels like a what if when you're reading this. It really feels like a what if. So, anyways, they head off, and it turns out that they're going to kind of like a memorial service for all the people that died in Manhattan whenever the Maker Council attacked them. And when you get there, there's a very cool like my next favorite character in the Marvel universe gets a cameo.
Can I guess who it is?
You can most certainly guess who it is.
Is it Daredevil?
Yes. Matt Murdock shows up, and guess what? Matt Murdock is not a lawyer. Matt Murdock is a priest.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
He's speaking at the event. And it appears to me right now that he is blind. They don't like come out and say it, but he does get help from ladies. But I was like, oh my God. The ultimate version, the early, the volume 1 ultimate version of Daredevil kind of was just Daredevil. It was the same thing. He kind of just, it wasn't very much of a difference. So I to see that he's not just Matt Murdock, attorney at law, is extremely exciting for me. So I really like that. And we also get a glimpse. Matt says, "Hey, there's a guy who's very special to this community. He's one of your own. He wants to come up and speak, and it's Harry Osborn." And Harry Osborn comes up and talks, and he has this kind of like, he gives like a speech. It's like at first it's like, oh, it's kind of like it seems like somber and all that, and then he's like pissed. He starts to give this like, I want revenge towards the end of the speech. Even MJ goes and says, "Hey, that was pretty good till he got to the end of that."
So you kind of flipped out there at the end. But I don't know.
But you kind of find out the reason why, because there's this memorial. It's like 3 monoliths that are standing up. It's got names carved into it. 2 of the names happen to be Emily Osborn and Norman Osborn. So they died in that attack. There's one other prominent name, and that happens to be May Parker. That's why Ben and Peter are there. So I thought that was right off the bat, that's like a gut punch. I'm like, well, that would that would be pretty.
And it's also
hard
kind of
because it's
a twist on who lived and who died in the original.
I know, and it's a recent death too. It's just like not something. Ben is so far in the past, but Aunt May is like fresh and open, and that's what Peter wanted to talk to his uncle about. He's like, "Hey man, are you okay?" He's like, "Hey, do you ever think about your parents' death?" And he's like, "Yeah, every day." He's all, "Well, that's how it is for me right now, so don't worry about it." He's kind of like,
I wonder if his parents were SHIELD agents in this universe.
I have no clue. They don't really talk about them. They just they just bring that up. But anyways, they head back to their office, and oh wait, you know what I got to do? I've been talking this whole time. I needed this. So anyways, they head back to the office. And we know that J. Jonah Jameson was talking with the money people. Well, the money people turns out to be Mr. Wilson Fisk. He has like a controlling interest in the company, and he talks. He's kind of pissed because of how they covered the whole Manhattan attack. I guess they didn't want them talking about it and stuff. J. Jonah Jameson up and quits and leaves leaves the building, and he takes Ben Parker follows him, and Peter's kind of left holding the bag, and then he meets up with him later in a bar, and it turns out Ben and Jonah are talking about starting a new news outlet. And I was like, oh, please let it be like a podcast, because that's awesome. I was hoping that was what was going to be, but it just didn't turn out that way. They were talking about, just the classic news guys.
They said, like, well, we can't do a podcast. That would never go anywhere. No,
that would never go anywhere.
It's like, damn you.
But anyways, and they asked Peter if he wants to join them, but Peter's like, I got shit to do. I got family now. I really can't just up and do this, and whatever. Meanwhile, a Mr. Wilson Fisk is getting into a vehicle somewhere else in New York, and his car explodes, and it's actually exploded by a one Green Goblin, and so there's I'm still they haven't told us anything. I'm gonna guess that it's Harry, but it's not like 100%, so
that seems like it's too obvious. So I think that's like a throw off. That's what I would guess.
And we also don't know like anything about Harry, because not even like in this universe, they never went to I guess it was Empire State University. They never went there together. So MJ and Peter don't know
each other.
They don't really know Harry Osborn. They know of him, but they don't know him.
Now, didn't you say last week or a couple weeks ago about like that the possibility it could be Tony Stark?
It could be Tony Stark, but I have now after reading this book, I have high doubts that it's Tony Stark. The reason why there was a little bit of a prediction that it was Tony Stark is because there's some little like serial numbers on the suit. Right. I can't read because my eyes are so bad these days, but there's some serial numbers on the suit that said like I think it says Stark Osborn or something like that, and people were like, who may that be? So they had the little meeting in the bar, and then they talked to Peter. They asked him if he actually wants to join them, and like says no, I have too much going on. And Peter talks to Ben about how like he's like I feel like something's wrong. Like I need to like do something else. I need to wake up or something like that. And Ben says, hey, if that's the problem, man, go do what you need to do. Like wake up and just do what you got to do. Don't wait. It's never good.
Peter wakes up and he's back in the 616 universe.
Yeah, there you go.
You're like, oh, it's that trope again.
Peter heads back to his house. He sees his kids. He talks to them. Then he ends up talking to his wife, and he says, I still feel like something's missing. Like I need to do something. Well, she says, is it about the thing from the other night? He says, yes. And she's all right, Tiger, then take off and do what you got to do. Well, you get this scene where he was it was the night before, and he got this box. It just looks like a box, but it starts to spark electricity. All of a sudden, a hologram pops out of it, and it's Tony Stark, Iron Lad in this continuity. Okay, he's not Iron Man. Okay, so he's kind of like in this continuity. He's Iron. I called him Iron Kang when I first saw him because he looks a lot like Kang, but he has
that's Iron Lad from that's a Kang descendant. It's Iron Lad from Young Avengers.
See, I'm not up on the Young Avengers. I need to go back and read that. But so he's Iron Lad, and he shows up and he basically says, "Hey, you were robbed of something a long time ago, and it was the Maker Council that did it to you. I want to give that back to you." And he has this little sphere. And in the beginning of the book, we saw it was in his bag, and his daughter grabbed it, and she's like, "Hey, what's this?" And he's like, "Hey, that's not a toy." And now he says, "I'm hoping that you will take this, and that you will next time when I see you next, I'll be looking at a superhero." And so Peter steps out onto the up onto the top of the building, and he opens the sphere, and this little spider is in a test tube. He lets it crawl in skin and bites him. And the next scene we see is Spider-Man in an all black costume. So that is the end of the book. And I thought, whoa, that was pretty damn good. All the dialogue felt really, unforced and nice. The artwork is really great. Mark, is it Marco? I'm getting his name right. I'm going to say his name wrong. I think it's Marco Cicchetto. Yeah, Marco Cicchetto. It's written by Jonathan Hickman. I thought both of them did an excellent job on this book. I think it's different enough from the 1610 universe that it feels exciting, because as great as Ultimate Spider-Man is, and it is great. I do love it. I think it's exciting to have so many changes and just things be different. You're like, oh, that's cool. Whoa, it's just like head turn moment, double take every few seconds. So,
well, maybe if it's successful, you'll get a Daredevil.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
If we saw him as a cameo in this, there's no way we're not going to see him.
Where a blind guy bites Matt Murdock. That's how I understand blind.
Well, hey, look, if they can do it,
if they can get near you,
if they can have in the new Craven movie, if they can have a lion bite Craven.
Yeah.
Like
I'm still questioning whether it is a radioactive lion. I kind of hope. That it is.
You're gonna have people going on safaris. You know what? I'm gonna run out of the Jeep and go get bit by a lion.
Radioactive lion.
Because you see how high he can jump.
He's got me by the back of my neck.
Well, it just killed him. It probably was still radioactive, but it just killed him.
It just killed him. But anyways, that was again, highly recommend this book. It's so far very exciting. I'm loving this, along with the Ultimate Universe book that just came out as well. I suggest you go out and get it before it's gone. It's gonna be awesome.
I happened to see on X or /Twitter that just some random person tweeted or posted that basically wanting people to not spoil this comic, for one thing, and to sorry, random nerd on X, but and also he's wanting people to not, essentially just wanting people to pay for it, but he's like, don't just read the scans of it. Actually, go buy this comic because it really needs to be successful. So apparently, there's other fans of this book who are really.
You should see the League of Comic Book Geeks. Holy shit! That there was not a comment on there that was a bad one. They were like, "Holy cow, this is awesome!" So I'm right in there with them. I'm digging the new Ultimate Universe so far. Ultimate Invasion was good. It was a little slow, but I still liked it. Ultimate Universe is kind of it's shaping up, and so I'm very excited for what's coming.
And the maker was Reed Richards, right? Like the bad
the maker's Reed Richards in here, yeah.
Okay.
We also have another Reed Richards character. Reed Richards is now Dr. Doom.
Whoa.
In this one too, because the maker went to Earth 6160,
right,
and he enslaved the Reed Richards there and put him in an iron mask. Well, now he's like the Dr. Doom. So
I want to say that's something similar to Earth X, the Alex Ross.
I still want to read that. I'm trying to get an Omni of that.
Didn't you have those like comics, like individual comics of that back in the day?
I had quite a few, because I was really into Kingdom Come. I was obsessed with Kingdom Come, and this is sort of like Marvel's kind of version of that.
Yeah, you introduced me to Kingdom Come. You let me borrow your trade of that.
Yeah, I had like the audiobook. I had the novelization hardcover. Thank you very much. And so that does remind me. And also, Iron Lad reminds me, I don't know too much about it, but I know there was at least a time, maybe around the Heroes Return era, where Tony Stark did revert back to like a teenager. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty interesting. But calling himself Iron Lad, I mean, I'm assuming we're meant to think of the Kang person, the Kangling.
Yeah, from Young. The Young
not to be confused with Kankles. I mean, Kangling.
Not Kankles or the Young,
or Changeling.
Not quite
Kangling.
Justice, but Young Avengers.
All right. Well, speaking of what's next to come in 2024, IGN put out a put a list of most anticipated comics of 2024, and there's some stuff on here that's interesting. I don't know if I agree with all of what they say as much as I ever agree with IGN, but
I'll be the judge of that.
I'll be the judge of this. Okay, so we're at the end of the Krakoa era. I couldn't give a thundering fuck about X-Men. They have screwed this title up so bad. It is not fun to read. Hickman jumped in, like Hickman's jumping into the Ultimate Universe now. He jumped in to create this whole Krakoan era thing. I'm just worried that there are no good enough writers anymore at Marvel to make this any good in the coming.
It's interesting because you mentioned Hickman, and like I basically I only know what I basically see people on social media happen to mention, and you're not alone. There's a lot of people who don't think too fondly of the Hickman era of X-Men. And so when you said Hickman wrote this really good thing, I'm like, man, maybe he is just stay in one lane, leave X-Men alone.
Yeah.
If he's good at this one thing, because I've been fans of writers who will do that. I'm like, she's just stay away.
Well, it's kind of like what Ty was saying about Ed Brubaker. He didn't like him on Batman, but he was good in Captain America.
Yeah, Captain
America.
Yeah, everybody, And I know he wrote Daredevil. I don't really have enough of a. I can't.
Yeah, he did a lot of Daredevil as far as I know. Well, I think 2 volumes omnibuses right now that he has. So he did quite a bit of Daredevil. I think he did way more of Captain America. But Bodz used to rave about that, and I just got the first volume of the Winter Soldier saga, so I'm really excited
to
read
that. Winter Soldier, good time.
It basically made Captain America like cool to read after decades of him being like, it's like the fun, but you don't really read it. You know what I mean? It's, you like it being there, but
it's kind of probably like Iron Man. How you felt about Iron Man for the longest time? You're like,
for the longest
it's nice
time,
that he's there, but I don't really read him.
Yeah.
But anyways, the end of the Krakoan era is coming, and I'm very happy because I did not. The stuff I did read of it was not exciting. So good luck to whoever takes it over. Just make it less gay fan fiction, and I think you'll be okay. I have not read any of this. Have y'all read any? Y'all have the DC Universe Ultra, and have y'all read any of this Titans Beast World?
No, I seen it. It's new. I haven't read it yet. I'm still stuck in the 90s and early 2000s with Batman, but I do try to keep up. I mean, if it was about the Bruce Wayne fugitive story, I could jump into that. But
I think I have that one.
But something brand new, I haven't. And so Beast Boy or Changeling, whatever his name is, Garfield. Here's what I want this story to be. I don't know what it is. I'll tell you what I want it to be, because Beast Boy's been through the ringer as of late. And he's gone through like a mutation of sorts, and he's he kind of like was like a monster thing, and then he came to change back to normal. He was like he was at death's door at one point. And I'll tell you what I want this whole Beast world to be. I doubt it is. I want it to be Garfield Logan figuring out that his powers aren't just limited to just animals. He can really change into anything. And he kind of just figures out, it was just my understanding of my powers that was limiting me just to animals. But I sincerely doubt that. And in fact, the Titans show even kind of explored that aspect. But for what it really is, don't know. Just some modern comic that I haven't read.
Yeah. Well, let's see if it says anything here. It says DC ended 2023 by kicking off one of the biggest storylines of the year: Epic Titans Beast World crossover. A clash with a undead Necrostar has resulted in the DC heroes and villain. Undead Necrostar?
Okay, Necrostar.
I should say that a bit slower. Has resulted in the DC heroes and villains being transformed into beasts, and only the Titans can save the world if Amanda Waller lets them. It says expect Beast World to continue consuming the DCU in the early weeks of 2024, and when the dust settles, we should have much better idea of the direction of the DC universe is headed in this year. Will the Titans still be filling the void left by the Justice League? Will Waller succeed in turning the world against the heroes? Expect some big changes at the end of Beast World. I don't know. Y'all are gonna have to pump me up for DC these days anymore. I don't need. You know, the biggest problem I have with DC right now is getting any omnis from them. They don't produce omnis anymore. It seems like all they do is like trades, and I am so sick of the short trades. I want a big, thick omnibus, and the only one that I've picked up recently that I'm like super duper, pumped about is the what is it called? Super Sons.
Yeah.
So psyched for that because the after reading the what was the undead one that we read? I can never remember the name of it. A deceased,
yeah. Deceased,
and getting to see kind of how they interacted. I did like their dynamics. So I'm more excited to read Super Son as a result of that. So we'll see. Here's the next one: Return of Sin City. Okay, Frank Miller. He started a new line called FMP. Frank Miller Presents. And it's basically all the stuff. I guess nobody owns his stuff like Dark Horse or anything. It's not tied to those labels, so he can do whatever the hell he wants with it. So he's bringing Sin City to his own label, as well as a Wild West era version of Sin City called Blood and Dust.
But hopefully someone else is drawing.
Yeah. Hopefully we can only hope.
I when I was a kid, this was kind of the dirty book. I remember going up to the counter and the comic book guy'd look at you like, okay, here we go.
See some ID.
Yeah. Are your parents around? I'm going to sell this to you, but your parents, are they around? It was pretty bad. And to be honest, it's really tame these days. The only exciting thing I can see from this is that that really personally excites me is that Milo Manara is going to be working on this, and I don't know if he's doing the whole book. It just says Miller will be collaborating with the legendary Italian artist Milo Manara on one of the new one shots called Sin City in Color. I don't know if y'all remember Milo Manara. He is he's famous for working with heavy metal. You might remember he did a kind of a dirty version of Gulliver's Travel.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, heavy metal. It was a girl basically, and she was very scantily clad, and it was just a Gulliver's Travel story, but in heavy metal.
Off to Google.
And then he's also famous for, I think I can find it right quick. Let me see. There's y'all will immediately know Manara. I think it's They actually had to. Let's see. They actually had to. Oh god. Okay, here we go. They had to censor this back in the day. Can you see this?
Oh, he did that?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's Milo Manara. Yeah. So if you notice,
I remember big hubbub about this. Nothing cover.
Yeah,
and this is I'll tell you what this triggers me, because this is a bunch of white knight nerds wanting to impress girls who aren't around, reading these comics. They have no idea that they're trying to act so noble. This is one of the origins of I hope she sees this, bro. You know what I mean? Where it's like, what? That's just, we can't be doing that to a woman, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're trying to impress people who aren't here and don't care, who aren't even aware. They don't care. They're not aware. When really it's just a perfectly cromulent cover. It's fine. Who cares? Just it's honestly
pretty tame for this day and age. So I didn't see the problem with it. But
Milo
Manara did this. Go ahead.
Oh, maybe it's because I remember like the old Gen 13 comics where it's like, hey, this is basically porn, but not really, because Scott Lobdell, whatever his name is, would just, if you reach that age, if you're basically like a teenager reading that comic, that's like hit you at the right time. You're like, I don't really care about this story, but the art is what I'm here for. Yeah. And And
this
this
is
is the
the-
Spider-Woman. Yeah, it's nothing.
This is the cover to the thing he did for Heavy Metal, the Gullivera. So this was kind of like the dirty
Gullivera.
Gulliver's Travel, yeah. So that was
I
that
can see
was
that being a problem.
yeah, that
for
was
some people.
well, I mean, nobody cared because it was heavy metal. You know, remember what heavy metal used to? If this maybe this was just where we were at, but remember it was sometimes it was like porn. It was in a package, and so you were like, it's in like a plastic. It had like a plastic black bar across it, and you're like, ooh, it's heavy metal.
Well,
Yeah.
something happens
Certain-
in here.
Yeah, certain covers of heavy metal were like that, and so that was kind of the whole deal with that. But Milo
Yeah,
Manaro,
like
that's the guy.
Yeah. Mm.
Milo Manaro, that's the guy. Well, it would make it like double embarrassing. You're buying a comic book, you're walking out, and it looks like porn, and walking by chicks, and they're like, "Oh, that guy,"
Like, no.
And then
No,
you say,
it's-
"Hey, no, I'm just taking this to show them they need to censor this."
yeah.
I'm a white knight. I'm your white knight.
But anyways, I'm excited to see Milo Manaro's art. I'll probably pick it up for that reason. Next, they had Blood Hunt. I just got some stuff about this today. I would shit on this if it wasn't that it's kind of centered around Blade, as far as I can tell. So I haven't read the, what is it called, DC Vampires yet. So I just think it's funny that they both kind of like they follow each other on these kind of
Like
Yeah,
Marvel
it's like that.
Zombies. Yeah, well, we're doing Deceased.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then this is kind of the opposite side, like they
Yeah.
did it the other direction, because whatever. But
yeah.
Jed McKay is going to be writing it right now. He's writing the Moon Knight, and people have said that's probably the only book in modern Marvel that was worth reading. So I'm guessing people are going to pick this up. But I kind of, to be honest, I would like them to redo Wolverine was Lord of the Vampires, and I did like Punisher, but it would have made way more sense if Blade would have been it, like we talked.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Why
I don't
didn't
know.
they do that?
I don't know. I think it's because Punisher
weird.
was more popular.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
it
think
was
we
90s
even-
anti-hero.
Yeah, I don't think we'd even gotten into the as of that moment, we had not gotten into the Night Stalker era of Blade. So the
Yeah, I
Rise
don't
of the
think
Midnight
so.
Suns hadn't happened. He wasn't that cool. He was still sporting a fro, using teakwood knives
Like
for the
this,
blades.
it's like the 70s vampire.
Yeah, he was
guy,
calling
so-
people jive turkey and stuff.
Jive turkeys, yeah. I think he was called. I
Like-
think he called Dracula Drac. Yo, Drac.
Yeah.
Yo,
And it's
Jack.
not like that really happened. That's really what he
No, it's
says.
really-
It's like,
They just put out an Omni, so if anybody wants to read like a super old Blade, it's in there, and I mean it's pretty something, Next, this is probably going to be up your guys' alley. Joker's origin. Apparently, Batman number 142. DC kicks off a new storyline with a Joker Year One. It says echoing Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. David Mazzucchelli is a freaking awesome artist too. Iconic Batman Year One storyline. Joker Year One traces the Clown Prince of Crime's chaotic first steps after emerging from a vat of chemicals in Batman: The Killing Joke. How did he become the terrifying force of nature he is today, and how will the revelations of the Joker's early months impact Batman in the present day? Now, I don't. Maybe it's just me. I'm a little bit tired of the Joker right now.
Oh, I am beyond. My Joker fatigue is just through the
It's
roof,
just
or maybe
too
through the
much.
floor. I don't know what you would call it, but I think that the last modern Batman thing I remember reading all the way was the Joker War. I was like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
let's just get
yeah.
through this.
I did like that one because I gave us Kite Man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember like it's up until that point, it was like fine, but I'm like, I felt like we had just done a big Joker story, and like, man, kudos to the three Jokers for just breathing new life.
Oh yeah,
into
Three
that. My
Jokers was
goodness.
excellent book. I
I don't know.
enjoyed that.
With Joker, it's like I still don't think we need an origin for him. I like the
I kind of like the mystery.
lies. I like you don't
And
really
the thing
know.
is, this is just going to be an origin, one of the
yeah.
several versions that have been out.
So
Yeah.
well, good luck to them with this because it's
I
three
think like
treading
the
ground.
Joker movie sequel's going to be coming out soon enough. have this, why
Yeah.
not? But I immediately hear it's like it's an offshoot. But because
Well, is it an offshoot? Didn't you say
I
it was actually
guess,
in
right?
Batman? Like, it's actually going to be in Batman, like the main title.
Yeah, it says that it kicks off in Batman 142. So I don't know if this can.
Yeah.
Well,
This is not going to be an
what?
event. I hope, because that kind of sucks. I'd rather it just be its own title.
You know what, man? Speaking of things, I'm not sure where it falls in the canon. That Joker series, that comic series that was out recently, maybe it's still going on. Once I learned that it was really just the Jim Gordon series, oh man, it was great, man. And yeah, it's like Joker kind of hardly appears in some issues. I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is not bad at all.
Hmm.
Now, as far as this being like what is considered the main canon or whatever, I don't know. I feel like a bait and switch is coming, but we shall see.
Okay. Well, look forward to it. As a 142, I think we're at like 139 or 40 right now, so pretty soon. Skybound's Energon universe continues, and I gotta say, this has been one of the biggest boons for comics in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I have enjoyed everything that's come out of the Energon universe has been very, very excellent.
I've been seeing a lot of good things about Duke. So
yeah, Duke just came out. It's on my stack of stuff that I'm making my way through. I've loved all the Void Rivals stuff. I'm very interested in what's going to happen there. Transformers has been absolutely excellent. I'm floored at some of the stuff I didn't know about how G.I. Joe and even the movies. Like, how the kid, I guess, what was it? Shia LaBeouf's character's name was Witwicky, right?
Yes, Sam.
Witwicky. So his dad was, I can't remember.
Yeah, Witwicky.
Well, I can't remember what his dad's name was, but Spike Witwicky is.
Well, in the movie, it was just some.
I thought his last name in the movie
It was
was
Daniel. It was Daniel.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I did not. Spike from the cartoon. I knew that name Witwicky. His name is Spike Witwicky. I didn't know that. And
yeah.
And here he's a G.I. Joe. He's like an ex G.I. Joe. So Spike, actually, whenever the Transformers show up and they start Starscream starts killing folks, all the like local National Guard and Spike shows up to actually deal with these. And he gears up with he's got he's got ARs and he's got saws and all that. He's gonna fight, dude. And I thought that's so cool of a way to mix those two together. And I looked it up thinking Witwicky's is very familiar. And then I think I'd read that it was in the movie, but when you go back and look at the Transformer lore, that's what the guy's name was, Spike Witwicky, and that just whoa, that's so cool.
I did know that. That's what it was, but they just called him Sam Witwicky.
Sure, Bodz. Sure, you did.
Yeah.
Sure,
I did know
this
that
guy.
because
Fake nerd.
In my Transformers fan fiction, I'll have you know. No.
But anyways, I really dig this. I think you should go out and read all this stuff. It's so great. Bodz, I know you picked up. That's Void Rivals.
Okay, cool. Yes, I did
Rivals.
pick up issue 1 of Transformers because I had to get a floppy of that.
Yeah, there's 3 titles right now that are out in the wild. There's Void Rivals, which is in its 5th issue or whatever. There's Transformers, and then there is Duke, and the next one I believe is going to be Cobra Commander, which this is going to be awesome. And there is a really cool scene in the Transformers, it's a crossover. Duke is actually in it. It's so badass and took me by such surprise. I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be a good comic, and has continually been very, very good. Ultimate Universe, we just talked about this. I'm totally down for it. This is gonna be on Free Comic Day. There's Iron Lad.
Okay, and so that is Reed Richards up there then.
Yep, Reed Richards.
Wow.
Totally down for this. I'm totally picking that up. So psyched for that.
They said that's on free comic book day for that one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 2024 Free Comic Book Day, and that's it says right here as teased and solicitation for Marvel's Free Comic Book Day 20. Are there more than one Free Comic Book Day every year? I haven't.
I don't believe so.
It seems like it was late last year, so it's crazy that I thought it was kind of close to July or something. I can't remember. So it's really crazy
it's when that Conan one came out that I liked.
So that was like maybe it was June.
Yeah,
because Conan came out.
Right.
Conan came out in July. So
yeah,
I'm gonna
like
guess
it is summer.
Yeah, so June. Well, that's fairly quick. But anyways, yeah, totally down for more of this Ultimate stuff. Don't give a shit about this. I don't know what the hell this is, or give a shit about it. Moon Knight. Whenever this comes out in Omni, I'm gonna check out. This is Jed McKay's run. It's like this is the new version. Apparently, they killed off the Mark Spector version of Moon Knight, and this is the new Moon Knight. And I don't think they have said who he is yet, but I know
his name is Johnny Knight, and
his name is
Johnny Knight.
Johnny Moon Knight.
His name would be like
Native
Mooney
American
or something.
Oh God! Don't start that shit. Don't start.
His name is Nick Knight, and
Nick Knight. He's Forever Knight.
He is forever the Knight.
You didn't think we were going to drop a Forever Knight reference in here, but we did.
No, we did. Somehow we found a way. I'm like I said, I'm about to pick up a couple of Moon Knight omnibuses because one of them's cheap and the other one everybody says is amazing. It was done by all the art was done by Finch, and I'm a sucker for Finch's artwork. So
I remember that one. Yeah, I was into that back in the day. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, Re-Evolution #1. God, that's a fucking mouthful. Is coming. I know that they did. So they had Last Ronin, and then there was a new book with the 4 new turtles in it. So I'm guessing this is a new book. I
guess so. Are the new turtles down to 1 turtle now?
They're like, we gotta start out with a new one. They had babies. There's 4 more.
I guess they always Casey Jones' daughter. I guess because look at the mouthpiece.
Casey Jones' daughter. She's in it. What's her name again? I forget. It's like
Casey Jones.
I think it's Casey. But she had a different name though for a while. It was like Knight something. I can't remember. She had like a different name in the past, and that's where I get confused with her name. Anyways, so yeah, I'm down for anything Ninja Turtles. It's just whether or not IDW fucks it up because whenever they Jenica or whatever their name is,
the girl turtle.
Yeah, I can never forgive them for that. More Ultimate Universe. I guess this is another. God Almighty. Oh, okay. I thought this was the title, Ultimate Universe Reborn. I've already picked up this book, Ultimate Universe #1. It's on my stack of stuff to read. Looking very much forward to it. The last time I saw something about it, they actually have a frozen version of Captain America that I guess they got from another universe. So I'm curious to know what's going on there. But this is strange. This is a little strange because. Okay. I was about to say, why here is it Iron Man proper? And then here's the Iron Lad. This is the cover that I have. So totally down for more of this. Anyways, and I'm speeding through this because we're at an hour and 8 minutes. So I gotta go through this. Superman Superstars. Action Comics New Direction. I have no clue what this is.
Well, I haven't heard of this, man.
It says Action Comics. Philip Kennedy Johnson was just wrapped up his excellent run in action. Oh yeah, everybody was raving about the new Action Comics run. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's the most favorite thing they've done in years." So, I guess this is the new thing. DC is kicking off a year-long initiative dubbed Superman Superstars, with rotating cast of creators introducing new stories, major ramifications to the franchise. The biggest news is the former Marvel's mainstay Jason Aaron is writing a 3-part storyline called I, Bizarro. After that, Superman writer Joshua Williamson will be penning a arc featuring Superman's family, and Lobo battling Brainiac. And that's just the first half of DC's ambitious plans for Action Comics in the year. And here's, I guess, some of the covers from it. I don't know. What do y'all feel about this? Jason Aaron.
I think Superman has such a eclectic and, dare I say, diverse, and just a lot of different people in the Superman family and the Superman mythos. So I think he can definitely support showcasing different types of characters. And Also, Superman appears in a lot of books per month, so I think it's just one less story to keep track of, to be honest with you, which is nice.
Well, I'm always a little bit trepidatious when I see Jason Aaron does some good stuff, but Jason Aaron is also the guy that redid the Punisher into the weird spectral. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know about that. Let's see. But everybody apparently likes no, they said here writer Philip Kennedy Johnson, his run. So I don't know about Jason Aaron. We'll see. I am super excited for this. This book came out today, and I didn't even flipping know about it until I started reading this article.
Ennis, James Bond?
Garth Ennis, James Bond. It's probably sitting in my comic shop now. One copy left, and I better go there tomorrow to pick this up, because if I miss this, I'm going to be irritated as hell. Garth Ennis has picked up the mantle for James Bond, and it's being produced by Dynamite Comics. So what it says here, it says James Bond, a cold heart pairs Ennis with veteran I can't even talk today. Veteran 007 artist Ralph Labosco. I don't know that guy. Taking its cues from Ian Fleming's Bond novel rather than the films. That's kind of cool. The series puts Agent 007 on the hunt for a top secret new chemical weapon that can kill targets without leaving a physical trace. Holy shit, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I expect to have a review of this next week.
Yeah, I will totally. Hey, if I can get this if I can get a copy of it tomorrow, I will totally be down. Also next week, so this week, Zorro came out. You know, the one where like it's got one where we talked about where it's got like he's like a modern day Zorro. Well, apparently it's like a bait and switch where his sister is actually the main character, and she just happens to be a lesbian or something like that. So once again, Sean Gordon Murphy strikes again and subverts us and whatever. Go to hell.
Is it called Zora instead of Zorro?
No, it's called Zorro, Man of the Dead. I picked up the copy because I want
man in the title.
Yeah, I know, no joke, huh? I want to go ahead and read this so that I can, if it is bad, I want to be able to properly shit on it. So I'm hoping next week to also have a review for Zorro, Man of the Dead, the first issue. So expect about 2 reviews next week, okay?
Okay.
And I will hit spoiler alert, and they will remind me to hit spoiler alert before I talk, because that's kind of the way we do reviews on this channel.
Well, I mean, you know, in all fairness, you didn't get to the end of the comic, so you didn't really spoil the end. So
it's spoiled half of it. All right.
Half of it.
I don't know if I'm people. You know what's weird is the amount of people that are into Star Wars comics is crazy. It's crazy. I always like whenever I watch some channels they talk about omnibuses and like epic collections. People are like, oh my god, when are they going to reprint this? And I'm like, fuck me. That many people want to read Star Wars comics.
Yeah.
So this is a pass for me, but I don't know about you guys. Would you ever sit down and read a Star Wars comic?
I mean, I have in the past, and I have like a few Dark Horse comics here and there, but
yeah, and that was back when they were like, this is Boba Fett, and it was cool Boba Fett stories, and they're like, this is canon, but now those aren't canon, and so all these new things are canon, but they're just not things I really super care about anymore. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if I was like, does this really matter? I'm just going to watch the shows and I just made it through Andor like this morning, so I'm that far behind on anything.
I got something to say about Andor here after a while.
Andor, I want to know if you agree with me with Andor. Well, first I'm going to like touch on the comic here. I'm sure they're canonical events, sort of air quotes, right? But I'm sure they're fine. But as far as just the stories being good enough on their own to not really matter, I mean, my Star Wars fandom just never extended into the comic book form. And you think that'd be a natural transition there, but it just never happened. Now, when it comes to Andor, I want to know if your opinion matches mine, and that is, it was good, but we should all calm down. It wasn't as great as everyone thought it was.
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
I guess so. Like,
I'm sick of seeing nerds they just gush over it. I'm like, I'm not saying it was bad, you know.
I'm saying it was great.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, it is like smart Star Wars. Wars. It is like
I'm pretty sure
this
it's
is like sophisticated and stuff like that. But I was like, I'm
Yeah.
fine with just seeing Mandalorian and Baby Yoda run around and do things.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't
you
need
know,
it.
just because
You don't
there's
have to
another
high
thing.
class it for me.
Y'all know that they're doing a movie now of that too, right? The Baby Yoda and
so I wonder who that movie's really going to be about, because it's not going to be Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which female? As soon as they announce whoever the female lead is, okay, that's who the main character is.
Yeah.
Really. And
Yeah.
will Pedro Pascal actually? How much screen time will he actually have? Will he actually be in that suit? Under
In the suit?
helmet?
Probably not. He's gonna phone it in from wherever the hell he lives, just like he acts. Oh, I'm just kidding. All right. Return of John Constantine, Hellblazer. Yeah, I'm always down for some Hellblazer, and it's cool stuff. I mean, I don't know if I most anticipated. I mean, does he look gross like this in the whole comic? Because that would be kind of cool. It says right here, Cy Spurrier, the guy who made Mystique Nightcrawler's dad, and Aaron Campbell's John Constantine, Hellblazer, a criminally underappreciated series that deserved to last longer than 12 issues. We voted it best comic series of 2020. Thankfully, justice has prevailed, and Spurrier and Campbell are reunited for a belated follow-up to John Constantine's Hellblazer: Dead in America. Debuting in January with the an 8-issue series, also happens to feature direct crossover with the Sandman. That's cool. I don't know. I'd have to read the first one to really be able to tell you if I'm even partially excited about this. But let's move on. Don't care about this shit. Don't care about that shit. This is the one that I was going to show y'all that I was like, okay, is this like a play on the Super Sons? This is the rise of the Sinister Sons?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Are you totally down for this?
I mean, I don't know.
The only reason I would be wanting to do this is if oh wait, here we go. Okay, so Peter Tomasi's Super Son comic was easily one of the best things to come out of DC Rebirth Initiative. Sadly, DC's decision to age up John Kent, there you go, marked an end to the era of Superboy and Robin. Even if two heroes do still team up from time to time, but now the new tag team duo ready to carry on the Super Sons legacy, albeit with a more villainous spin. Cue in the Sinister Sons, a new series by Tomasi. Fuck it, I'm sold. I'm gonna read it if Tomasi writes it. Okay, I'm totally down for this. I love the little bit of the Super Sons that I read. I'm totally down for this. It says this comics focuses on General Zod's son, Lord Zod, and Sinestro's son, Sinson. God, you could have come up with better names than this, bro. There aren't exactly crime fighting dynamic duo, but we're excited to see the what mischief the two superpowered miscreants can conjure up for the Sinister Sons launches in February. Totally down for that.
Well, hey,
What say you,
what?
Nate?
If it's, you know what, man, I'm outspoken fan of the Super Sons, and I feel like there is, anytime I see a return to the Super Sons or something like this, I take it as we admit that we kind of messed up. That's what I
you're all, we admit defeat. You were right. No H, sorry.
You were right.
Who was it? Tom King? Was it Tom King? Should he apologize?
I mean, he should apologize too. I mean, like, for just other things, even though he's written plenty of stuff I liked, but he's also.
But wasn't he the one who aged up John Kent?
No, that was Bendis.
Bendis, okay, so Bendis, he's the one who owes the apology.
Yes.
All right,
and
this is putting Bendis on notice. Putting Bendis on notice. You need to apologize to No Age for aging up John Kent. Do it.
And he blocked me on Instagram because he posted something about Naomi being on the Justice League, and I admittedly wrote a snarky comment about like creative nepotism or something like that. Like, oh, she's like, she finds herself on the Justice League so soon. When you're happy to be writing the Justice League.
Oh, it stings so bad.
Even though that's like nothing new, creators like to put in characters that they make onto the team. But I'm like, you know what? It was under your watch that John Kent got aged up. And then things just spiraled out of control from there. And yeah, you know what, man? I was buying digital, mind you, but I was buying monthly to Superman and Action Comics, like, and then Bendis took over, and I'm just like, I read a lot of it, and it's not like Bendis is this. I mean, I'm beating a dead horse. He's written stuff I liked, but man, like Event Leviathan, I liked, but he aged up John Kent. So
You're all you
trumps
effed up.
It
There you go.
supersedes everything.
There you go. All right. In this last one, I'm going to go through it really quickly. This is Ghost Machine. It apparently is coming to Image Comics, and it's got a lot of names on it. It says right here, a new publishing imprint spearheaded by none other than Jeff Johns. Johns is bringing True Murderers Row to the creative talent. A True Murderers Row to creative talent to build and describe as the first of its kind creator-owned operated media company. It says the lineup includes, and this is what's got me kind of sold on this book, Jason Fabic, Gary Frank, Brian Hitch, Lamont McGee, Francis Manipul, Brad Meltzer, Peter Tomasi, and Maytal. I don't know that person's Jute. I don't know who that person is. Johns and Tomasi and Manipul, those are the ones, and Fabic. I'm down to clown on this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of good talent there, and yeah, and it's just so it's, I mean, yeah, Ghost Machine, huh?
Ghost Machine.
Well, I'm digging the artwork. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that's Fabic, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
No.
I can tell now.
Yeah, I think that's a pickup. That's a pickup for me. But let's move on to the next topic before we run out of time. Okay. Orville. Seth MacFarlane says that there is no death certificate for the series. He says just a lot of things have to come into basically into alignment for them to be able to go ahead to bring the series back. Thoughts?
He shouldn't give me hope. Is what I think.
You're gonna go cry in the corner if it doesn't. He's like it's like an abusive partnership.
Yeah, it's like just I'm already accepted that this great show just won't come back.
Yeah.
You know, let's just move on. I mean, if it comes back, that's obviously awesome, right?
I mean, we all finished it, right?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I haven't finished it. I
Okay.
really want to. Sorry, Bodz.
Okay.
I didn't realize that you were in the backstage there, and I just saw that I was like, Bodz hasn't talked for flipping ages. I don't know what's going on.
No, I
Bodz is,
talked. You just didn't hear me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Bodz is behind
sorry.
his soundproof glass, like yelling, "Let me out of here!"
Help!
Help me, running out of air.
I really want to see a season 4. Like I said, I've only seen I think most of the first season, but I am going to make my way through this because I really want to talk more about this show. But I hope it's not dead. Please, for the love of God, don't kill this off. All right, let's move on to the next topic. We've been verbose this episode. Well, mostly me. Daredevil. The Netflix. Whoa, Bodz, you're very loud. Something's going on with your.
Right now?
Yeah, let me go ahead and move you down just a little bit. That's probably better. Say something, Bodz.
Something, Bodz.
Okay, just a little bit more. You're a bit loud still.
Talking, testing.
Live podcasting.
Okay. I don't know.
Live podcasting.
Yeah, you're very loud. I don't know what happened. Anyways, Daredevil, the Defenders, Jessica Jones, all that stuff got added to the Disney Plus MCU timeline.
And people are saying it's canon. I'm like, I don't know, guys. Are you sure? I mean, if they say that, great.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
I'm thinking they can say that, but they will do nothing about that. It will like, it'd be cool if it was, but you have to consider like everything that happened in those, even Iron Fist. Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Because and Luke Cage season 2 is basically a comedy. It was so bad, it was basically a comedy. So I'm like, there's some stuff that happened in there, like this, like, and I'm also sort of like, so that means John Bernthal's Punisher is the Punisher, which I'm cool with for the most part. If he has like a better writer,
no joke.
if he has like a better writer, it can be fine, But and I'm also like, sort of. the Daredevil one was the best of the Netflix shows, but I'm also like, I'm still a little bitter about how Bullseye was. I'm like, it's just not how I liked Bullseye.
I never even got to that season, so I guess I can go back and watch these now that they're
now you have
question
a
mark.
They matter.
They matter,
so to speak. So who knows?
But anyways, that adds 161 hours back to the MCU timeline, so they got a huge boost with all that. I guess they finally figured out they can't make a show to save their life, so they had to bring in stuff from other from the other the A team so that they could actually up their scores here, because holy crap, a lot of the stuff they put out is pretty terrible. I'm just gonna say this. John Walker did nothing wrong. John Walker did absolutely nothing wrong.
Did you finish? You finished it?
I finished it. And I got to say, I'm so sick of hearing Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson, talk about how he's black for fucking several hours. I'm like, I don't care.
Like,
you're black. Know. We understand. We know. We can see it. What happened to the 90s where we were all getting along, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, you know what? We've been oppressed. Yes. Well, we all know.
There was a few riots in the 90s, but other than that,
a few bumps in the road. But I gotta say, the character I love most in that show, John Walker, number one, loved him.
Wyatt Russell, man.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna like him because he's Kurt Russell's son. So
I just liked him because he was like, what's funny is like it kind of reminded me of the whole, so Sam and Bucky are like, man, they're like, they're gonna go leaning on you. He was the only one who cared that Battlestar died. He's like, you're so concerned with like all black people being hurt and stuff, but as soon as Battlestar died, Sam Wilson was like, well, fuck him. I don't know. I just had a huge problem with that. I was like, wouldn't Sam be pissed too that this guy gets killed by this? And why would anybody not take into account that Battlestar died and that was like his friend?
Yeah.
We can only hope that he gets like cosmic powers and becomes Battlestar Galactica. But
so, are you sure your favorite character wasn't Baron Zemo?
Oh, dude, Baron Zemo was second. He was good. He was good.
He was. But I like that Battlestar was there because it's kind of relatively obscure Captain America person. But I liked him in the show because he's like, I don't really have powers or anything. I'm just going to be your friend and just help you. You know what I mean? Like, kind of. It's like, I like that guy. I like that he goes to Battlestar.
It was awesome.
I've always liked Bucky, but like in this one, it's like almost like where's your super soldier serum? You're not like as strong as you should be. Still, it's like, is it wearing off, or maybe it is? Maybe it is wearing off. I don't know.
Who knows? All right, we're gonna skip some stuff because we are way running low on time. We'll probably just mention that the new Star Trek movie is in development. It's not Star Trek 4. It's like a totally new thing, and it's being helmed by the guy who did Andor. So there you go.
So it'll be slow and boring at the beginning. Okay, gotcha.
So, Bodz, you like Andor?
I think it was like a prequel or something. Oh God.
Yeah, this one's supposed to be a prequel. So if you
another Star Trek prequel.
Oh yeah, and they said it's going to be.
Is it going to be Christopher Pike? We're going to see Captain
here's
Pike?
What it says. It says the plot is said to take place decades before the original 2009 reboot, possibly placing it into the era of the Star Trek Enterprise. Now, do they mean Enterprise, the show with what's his name?
Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula.
Is that what they're talking about? Who knows? But apparently, it's being done by the guy who helmed Star Trek Andor. So.
If they threw old Scott Bakula in there, I'd watch it in a heartbeat.
Oh, I know you would. All right, I'm gonna skip over that topic. Go on to topic that Bodz cares about a lot. Stranger Things season 5 officially begins production. They have a cast photo, and if you look at the cast photo, you'll see a lady back here that I just barely almost skipped over. Can y'all see that? Let's see if I show the tab. Let's see. Let's go in. If you can see
Zoom in.
Lady.
Enhance.
I can't go back like that.
Enhance.
That is a Miss Linda Hamilton.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she got she got confirmed like, I don't know, I want to say last year. Let's see for sure. It says Terminator's Linda Hamilton joined the cast back in June of 2023, but since
cool.
all the the writer strike stuff's happened, but look, all the kids are so old now.
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
they're
Steve
very
looks the
old.
same. That's all that matters.
Steve looks the same. You know, Steve is one of my favorites, and so is God, I always want to call him his real name. What's the kid's name here?
Dustin.
Dustin. There you go.
Oh,
Dustin.
Toothless. Yeah, Dustin.
Yeah, Toothless. I like
great.
those two characters, and then they killed they killed the only character I cared about in the last season. Eddie. I was so bummed that they killed Eddie.
Man, he's had such like a cult following now. Like I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they figure out how to bring him back.
I know he's like Barb, but everybody actually gives a shit about him.
Yeah, like Barb's dead. Well,
Barb's dead. Oh, that's terrible.
But like
and
he
then
dies, it's like he's awesome. So
he was epic. My other favorite character is this guy here in the back. I can never remember.
Oh
his
yeah,
name.
yeah.
I absolutely love that character.
Dang it! If you asked me on another day, I wasn't so tired. I could tell you his name.
I can tell you what their names are. Where is it at? Okay, so Noah Schnapp, Millie Bobby Brown, David Harbour, Winona Ryder, Cara Bunyo, Joe Keery,
Mike's mom.
Joe Keery, Amy Beth McNulty, Charlie Heaton, Brett Gillem, Maya Hawke. I hate Maya Hawke. Natalie Dreyer, Jamie Campbell Bauer, Priya Ferguson, Linda Hamilton, Gaten Matarazzo. That's that kid's name. Caleb McLaughlin, Ross Duffer, Matt Duffer, Finn Wolfhard, and Sadie Sink. I guess is the little redheaded girl, which I also hate so
Sadie.
much. I wish she would have died in the last season. I was so stupid to bring her back after she get all cracked up by the whatever his name was. Oh, I hate that character. Maxine. Absolutely.
Max.
Mad
Max.
I hate her character. Anyways,
you just hate her because she uses a bow and arrow.
I hate her just because I hate her. I hate a lot of people. I don't need a reason to hate her. Okay,
it's true.
And then finally,
that does not need a reason.
Finally, this is to top off the episode. We're going to leave on a funny note. Bodz, you're gonna love this. Could you stop McKelney, you son of a bitch? Stop interrupting me. Did y'all hear that? McKelney was interrupting me, so I had to say something. Okay, so apparently Deadpool invaded the Oscars. So here we go.
Wow, an Emmy. What an incredible honor. There's so many people to thank. I've been waiting for this moment for 16 years. So I've got a lot to say. I'd like to start by thanking...
Woo! Wow! God, Mr. Lively couldn't be here to accept this broken Emmy, so he sent me on his behalf.
Mr. Lively?
First and foremost, Wrexham, we love
Did he take his wife's name?
Deadpool's making fun of.
Okay,
Ryan
I was about
Reynolds.
to say I would put that past Ryan Reynolds to be a hyphenate. I just had to make that known.
No, he's just
Thank
making
you for
fun
letting
of
Rob
Ryan
and the other
Reynolds.
guy tell your story. Come Bith, bitches. I'd also like to thank the Academy for this honor and for not asking us to attend the televised awards show with the real celebrities. I'd also like to thank FX and Disney for their support, and in exchange, Mr. Lively promises to not fuck up my next movie. Lastly, the Oscars. You're on notice, motherfuckers. Maybe we can get a token VFX nod next year. The amount of work on Hugh and Ryan's face alone is at least worth a nod. Welcome to Wrexham. All episodes now streaming on Hulu and Disney+.
I don't know what Wrexham
That's pretty
is.
cool.
I couldn't give a shit.
Oh, they bought a soccer team in Wrexham.
Don't
sounds
care.
like a documentary.
Don't care. Anyways, so that is about all I have, boys. Anything from you guys?
Man, it's just past my bedtime, but man, so we're just looking forward to a bunch of some stuff that is cool. The majority of it will suck, and it's just business as usual.
And I just have a long list of demands to go through before we keep going. We're out of time, though, aren't we? Well, I'll get to it next time.
Next time. We will totally won't forget. Anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for coming by and actually talking with me about all this stuff. And we will see all of you next time on the Middle-Aged Mutant Show Live. See you then.